Hello, 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 and welcome everyone to a new episode of Spring Fever, the Garage's show where we talk about spring and other alternative football leagues. CFL, we got it. XFL, we got it. As you can see, USFL, we got it. X League, we got it.
We has it.
Yeah. ELF, ELF, we
the
has
ELF?
it.
Yeah, we has it.
Just like many a women we've talked about on the gymnasium, these leagues can get it.
They can get it.
So on today's episode, we're going to talk some USFL versus USFL news, some little XFL truth, I'm going to be spitting that at you, and we're going to be breaking down the Stallions roster. I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to break down these USFL rosters, roster by roster, team by team, until the league starts April 16th.
So this is my area of expertise, horses, stallions. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to look at each of these players and we're going to tell you if their semen is worth anything.
I think that's a good way to do it. I think that's a good way to evaluate players. I don't think anyone else is doing that. We could just you could kind of do an ocular pat down on a player and be like, he has good seed.
Oh yeah.
He has strong seed. I think
Absolutely.
that's a good way to do it.
If he tackles head first, you worry that they don't swim right. Let's stop talking about this.
I also want to start out the podcast by saying I want to kind of just make this an opening thing that we do. As of recording this right now live, 45 days to go till the USFL kicks off. 353 days to go until the XFL kicks off. Just so everyone's aware.
To celebrate this occasion, I will sing the chorus to Afro Man's Colt 45. Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. Baby, that's all we need. That's actually I'm not going to do the whole thing.
That is all we need.
That is all we need.
Right there. That is all we need. Before
I'm going
we
to
dive
try another number song reference for each time that we do this.
I'm not going to hold you to that, just so you know. I won't I won't hold you to that because I understand how hard that can be.
You can be my accountability buddy. Before
we get into breaking down the Stallions roster, there is a little bit of news going on. So it looks as if there's some scuff up with the USFL, quote unquote. They call themselves the Real USFL LLC has filed a lawsuit against the new USFL, which came as a surprise to me because I was pretty sure Brian Woods, who owned the Spring League and managed the Spring League, I'm pretty dang sure he owned the rights to the USFL. That's how they were able to use the General's name during the entire Spring League.
He got like demoted. Like he's now like a marketing like vice pres now. Like he's not like the USFL president. I think this is him taking his ball and going home, right?
I don't think he's a part of this though. I didn't. I thought like that was part of the deal with them going to Fox, like because he owned this. Like the Spring League was his, so I thought part of that was like him selling part of that to Fox and him getting a huge paycheck out of that because otherwise I don't know what the fuck he's doing because he flat out was the owner of the Spring League and I don't know what you're doing. Like you own the rights to the USFL. That's why you're partnering with Fox. That's why you're letting Fox take control because they know what they're doing.
It's crazy. All I know is I don't trust handles that have the real in front of them.
Yeah, it's also there's some people in like spring football, XFL, USFL Twitter community that love to dig into they love digging through copyright and things like that because if you for people who are new, spring football leagues come and go like fucking fashion trends at some point. And there's a lot of copyright stuff just out there. So some of these guys like to go digging through copyright. It looks to me, and I'm no lawyer, I have no idea. It looks like this Real USFL LLC was formed about a week and a half ago.
All right. The Twitter handle was the Real Donald Trump. Donald Trump was involved in the previous USFL, was pretty much the death knell, owned the Generals. Donald Trump is behind this. He's suing. He's a litigious motherfucker.
I like that because Donald Trump, A, he likes to hold grudges, and B, this rolls perfectly, Chase, perfectly into our next segment, the XFL truth. The truth about the XFL. I told you guys on the gymnasium I had a big video this week, and it was true. I dropped the truth about the XFL. Literally the day I dropped the video, there was a news article that came out that it looked like Vince McMahon was trying to dump the XFL before COVID hit.
Go ahead, get ready to go dark places inside your mind that you never really wanted to explore. Get ready to flip that rock over and see what's underneath. My
Get
boy
ready.
Jim figured it all out.
I'm dropping you guys in. We're going to watch a little bit of that video, and I'm forewarning, I'm dropping you in the middle. So this is like full send, no breaks. You're dropping in right in the middle of this thing. So here we go. Sharing the screen right now. Before we start, just tell the people how I look, Chase.
I mean, you usually are extremely well kept.
That's the perfect timing right there. This is it's so intense that it caused Chase screen to freeze. That is how intense this video and image and the truth bomb I am about to drop on everybody is going to be. Oh, you're back.
Here we go. Yeah.
So usually I'm well kept.
Yeah. You having a gun nearby, that's still pretty. You're very well kept, but you also always have a gun within arm's reach. So
let's give it a little taste.
Here, his tequila sales soar. The Rock's Terramana tequila sales soar. Holy shit, that means he has a foothold in South America, Mexico, and the United States as a party brand, as a billion-dollar brand. The Rock is a fucking bajillionaire. He's got his fucking veins, his roots, his fingers in everywhere. Next, they lay dormant again, but they drop hints. Danny Garcia is on Instagram, dropping hints left and right. Fucking feet pics for us fucking fetishists here. Instagram, owned by Facebook. Facebook has transformed into Meta. XFL eventually won't be satisfied with just world domination. They're gonna own the metaverse too. It's fucking...
There you go. That's just a little taste drop of what is the truth about the XFL.
Was that the old booger sugar, or were you doing a little math there?
You know what part of the country I'm in.
Yeah, I know. It's okay.
It's pure intensity based on this truth opening my eyes.
Listen, you're clearly in a very heavy sweat. The truth has rained that sweat. It's a cleansing sweat. You're about to smoke that cigarette all the way down to the knuckle. Very yellow knuckles. There have been a lot of cigarettes that have passed through that gateway.
In this video alone, there are 2 in a row consumed.
Amateur.
I know. I'm new to this lifestyle.
Yep.
But it's this was an intense undergoing.
Dude, you're headed the right direction from what I can tell.
I mean, I'll try and I'm not going to take the curtain off. The fact that the news about Vince McMahon trying to potentially sell the league or ditch the league pre-COVID, or he was thinking about doing it in 2020 without COVID. The fact that I called it, I'm so happy.
It's all conspiracies are based in truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all conspiracies, but just the cool ones that I like.
This one at the very least is 100% based in truth. But now, Chase, let's get to the meat of this podcast. Let's get to the meat of why we are here. And that is to break down this Birmingham Stallions roster.
This is probably our least favorite draft.
Definitely up, I want to say up there with least favorite, but it's weird to say it that way. I would say probably between, if I remember correctly, I think they were bottom. I don't think they were tied with anybody. I think it was just the Stallions. We were kind of, every team had a few hits. Don't get me wrong. Every team had a few hits, and the Stallions have some hits. There's some guys here I believe Chase absolutely love. But I think overall they had the weakest draft.
Yeah, I think so. And I wasn't sure what the strategy was. It almost seemed like Skip Holtz did something really shitty while he was a college coach, and so he drafted a bunch of his old players who weren't in the NFL as reparations almost.
He did that a lot, and then he drafted a lot of people who he played against, he coached against.
Yeah.
I think he was really just going for familiarity.
Big Conference USA vibe to this team. And there's nothing wrong with that. We love the G5, man. We're all about the G5.
I love my CUSA.
We're all about the AAC. We're all about the CUSA. I mean, come on. Don't.
Of course we're about the fun,
Just
though.
don't. If you're going to send us messages about this, just don't. But, yeah, I didn't really know what the strategy was. It just seemed to be familiarity. And I'm not sure if that's a winning strategy, familiarity.
I mean, maybe we'll see. I guess we should break it down from the top. Quarterback, first round quarterback, Alex McGough. My man.
I heard some
from the airport.
Flying in from the airport, Florida International. I saw a lot of chatter while we were doing the draft of some people regarded him as like the like Seahawks like kind of gym class hero in preseason, that he looked pretty good. Bounced around a little bit. He's got plenty of NFL at least practice squad experience, which I think we said it during the first round. Like all of those guys have been like consistently on like a roster the entire time, and you want that professionalism out of your, I guess, technically franchise quarterback.
I do like seeing that from especially the quarterback, seeing guys who don't have long stretches of doing nothing, either that they've been in the CFL, NFL practice squads, they were in the XFL, they've been in the spring league or other international leagues. I like just seeing that they've kept up with being in an active league, because you could practice all you want, you could be in the best shape of your life, you could be up to date on film and everything, but there's something to be said about participating in a league.
So, I mean, he did some pretty epic things while he was at the airport. Like, I'm reading through his Wikipedia page. So if some of you are messing with that right now, just fucking stop. Threw a 75-yard touchdown pass in the season opener against UCF. The next week, he throws a season-high 328 yards and runs in a game-winning touchdown against Alcorn State. On September 30th, McGough led the Panthers to a 19-point comeback. Over who? The Clit, Charlotte.
Damn it, everyone knows how much I love the Clit.
So, I mean, he's got chops. He comes from small team. He's obviously good enough to be kept around. I mean, this is not. I don't think quarterback is going to be their issue.
No, and like obviously this guy is good enough to be on a practice squad. Otherwise, I feel like the Seahawks would have kept him around. I think this is more of him trying to be a spotlight guy, and this is him having his opportunity to be. He's the guy. He's the quarterback. Yeah. He's not the backup quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he might have to edge out Jamar Smith, who they also drafted with their last pick, who I believe was he was with the Ticats last season,
yes.
And also with the Patriots. He was a La Tech guy. I think he might have played directly under Skip Holtz. So I mean, that's gonna be a little bit to overcome, but it just goes to show the quarterback's not going to be their issue.
I do love that pick as a backup quarterback, though. That someone that Skip Holtz has a rapport with, and that can kind of like maybe teach, even if he's not going to be the starter, he could teach the system. If it's going to be a Skip Holtz system, which
he could be a future Jason Garrett to Skip Holtz's Jerry Jones.
Stop that right now.
I'm just going to stop now. I'm just going to stop. I can't do it. I can't make myself do it.
We're moving on. And if you can't really tell, we're not going to be tackling every player at every position just because a lot of these players don't have a ton of information out there. If players want to get in contact with me or Chase or the garage as a whole, shoot me a DM on Twitter at XFL Jim. Shoot me an email. We will interview just about anybody who plays football.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not going to lie.
And we will not be creepy about it. Maybe.
Chase won't be creepy. I might be a little creepy. It's just a heads up. I want to be up front with that. Up next, I have do you want to go by position here?
Sure. I was just bringing it up because I was looking at the I believe the edge rusher here, and it's the if you didn't know, there were some brothers taken, and it was the Adoye brothers.
He's the next one I wanted to bring up, Aaron Adoye.
Aaron Adoye, his brother Adewale Adoye. Dude, he honestly looks like a little bit of a monster. I love his physical build, 6'6", 260. It's like, remember when Jason Taylor came into the league playing for the Dolphins? Like, and they were like, this is going to change defensive ends. Well, this is what defensive ends look like now because of that. Bounced around quite a bit, seemed to stay pretty healthy. I like this pick for them. Defensive end is not going to be their issue.
No, I really don't think so. He's got the exact physical build you want. And he has something I like in these kind of guys where you have this grunt mentality because he's played in the IFL. He's played in the Indoor Football League. Yeah. He played for the Salina Liberty. And I like seeing that in these kinds of players because I'm just going to be flat out honest. Arena football players are salt of the earth people. That is a part-time job at best.
So I'm not sure if I've shared this before. My dad was a dentist, and we used to have our own arena league team. We were like AF2, the Arkansas Twisters, and one of the offensive linemen that, like, basically he works and then he plays football. Like, that's his part-time job, his other part-time job. Well, he's one of my dad's patients. Biggest boy, tough as nails, scared to death of needles, scared to death of getting the injection during the dental work, just like sweating bullets. But he's a pretty cool guy.
I mean, these arena football players are the definition of grinding mindset, and I think that's going to help anyone who's been in an arena league a lot.
Yep.
Not
Absolutely.
to mention this guy's like a physical specimen.
Yeah, love the size. Love the. I mean, 6'6". Got to imagine he's got a pretty good wingspan. Like that's what modern defensive end is right now. It's like they're looking for this build.
I thought we both had that one. I'll go up next. I went offensive tackle for my next decision. I was looking at Darius Harper, and
Okay.
similar for the DN position. This guy's looking pretty dang impressive. He went to the Chargers training camp a little bit. They had a little bit on him. He looked good. He's a big AAC player. He played for Cincinnati, and he played for Cincinnati recently when Cincinnati's been one of the top AAC teams. And he's been a consistent starter, which you love to see out of an offensive lineman. You absolutely love to see just the consistent start. And, I mean, as an offensive tackle, he ran a 5 40.
That's quick. That is quick for a big guy. I mean, I think Mago might be pretty well protected because I looked at someone else who I guess is probably going to be the bookend, the other tackle, big old O'Shea Dugas out of Auburn. Like these were the rounds that we, and admittedly tackles didn't go as heavy on it as I was thinking was when we were going to start seeing players with SEC experience and SEC size come off the board. It was much later. It seemed like the DBs and then also like on the defensive side of the ball is when it showed. But yeah big O'Shea, like he's been around for a long time. He is a big ass dude, and he's played in some big ass games. Here I'm just looking at a picture of him blocking Montez Sweat whenever he was at Mississippi State. Another one that's bounced around, consistently been on rosters. But yeah, big O'Shea. Also, Ice Cube's real name is O'Shea. That's cool.
Yes.
That's a cool name.
We were talking about during the draft in the backstage and whatnot. Look out for SEC and Big Ten players, because I don't want to knock any of these other leagues because I love every conference in college football. But the SEC and Big Ten do produce the most NFL talent, so that these guys are playing. If they're getting consistent starts, significant starts in the SEC, they're playing against NFL players, especially if they're in the SEC West. They're playing up against NFL players every single game.
And I mean, like the Big Ten, like they eat a lot of corn. I get it. And for us, I mean, it just means more.
God damn it. I hate that. I hate that so much.
I love it. I love it how much you hate it. I love how much you hate it, honestly. I love slipping it in and then seeing the seething anger wash over your face.
Because nobody uses it except for fucking like Vanderbilt and South Carolina. Gross.
And me. And me.
Okay, I was about to say something very insulting.
It just means more to me, Jim.
I was about to say something very insulting. I was about to call you the South Carolina of podcast hosts, but that's just very mean, and I'm not. I would never say that. We would have to end this right now.
Show's over.
Show's over. The garage is done.
Friendship over.
No, that'd be that. I would never say.
It hurt me
Chase.
to say it. It hurt me.
No,
to say
you're
it.
the
All
Arkansas of podcast hosts. You're a fun team who I root for.
We bought into the SEC at the exact same time as South Carolina too. We're almost like South Carolina's bastard brother a little bit.
No, they're the bastard. They're
one of them.
I
mean, they both got. Yeah.
Who did you have? Bastards. Oh wait, you did go to yours. I'm flipping from offense back over to defense, and I think we both have this guy on our list. He's a linebacker. He's the linebacker on this team. It's Scooby Wright. The guy's a fucking ace. Like, look, he played at Arizona. He's bounced around a bunch of NFL teams. He's been on the Browns, the Cardinals. He was at the Arizona Hotshots, which, by the way, watch my XFL Truth video. Arizona Hotshots confirmed. Just
Dude, he's
lay that out there.
He's like
He's so good.
he's like a Dollar Tree Clay, what's his name, that played for USC and
Oh yeah, Clay Matthews.
yeah, he's like a Dollar Tree Clay Matthews, but I think that makes him cooler than Clay Matthews, quite honestly. Dude, he's just got the look, he's got the part, and he plays like a fucking wild man. This linebackers will not be the problem. Are we just slowly talking ourselves into liking this?
Well, no,
Stallions team?
these are like the guys. These are usually like I think everyone at least we've mentioned was their first pick of this position group for the most part, or like one of their early picks. There's players I like. I don't think there was any draft we outright said was bad. There were just teams that had better drafts.
Right.
Like
right.
I think the Birmingham Stallions can be competitive. I think we both agree a lot of this is going to come down to coaching, and I think we've both been pretty low on Skip Holtz.
Yeah. What has Skip Holtz ever won? Like he lost to us in a Liberty Bowl, a cold ass Liberty Bowl that just turned into like a really bad field goal kicking contest. See, this is why I question Skip Holtz. You know how you're not supposed to talk to the kicker? He decides he's going to talk to the kicker and take the edge off. Joke with him. Be like, hey, pal, it's not that big of a deal. And then the guy missed like 3, and ECU, who could have beat an SEC team, lost that frigid day at the Liberty Bowl. It's
ECU used to be really good. Damn.
Yeah.
Also, similar, you're going to see this a lot with me. I absolutely love players who played in the XFL. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Who would have thunk it? All right, so
who would have thought XFL Jim loves every XFL player? Yeah, he was also awesome on the defenders.
Are we moving on from Scooby? I've got my guy here I'm ready to talk about. I'm staying with the offense. I am oh so flashy. I'm gonna go Vic Bolden. Vic Bolden Jr., man. Oregon State player, has NFL snaps. Returns kicks. You're gonna need versatility because of the short rosters. I mean, he's a little bit older as far as some of these players go, but you need that. And I mean, he's not slow. Even if he's lost a step, it's still many steps faster than a lot of people. So, yeah, man, he was around 2 years with San Francisco. Return kicks, return punts. Doesn't look like he ever housed one, but I mean, he's a name I remember like as being just fast as fuck. So yeah, Vic Bolden, like I like that pick. That's a good pick. That's the first like outside of his comfort zone pick that I saw.
I like that one a decent amount. The other one I liked, I'm gonna stick with offense. Was I'm gonna see if I can pronounce this. Manessa Bailey. I think it's Manessa.
Yeah, Manessa or Manasseh. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a little bit on the shorter side. I think he's only 5'11", but he is fast as hell.
Does he come out of TCU? Was that right?
Where did he come out of? Morgan State. Okay. Came out of Morgan State, and he's clocked under a 4.40. So
that's pretty quick. That is pretty quick. Yeah, I mean,
and he has something I love in a wide receiver that when he first got to college, he was recruited as a linebacker. So he's physical. It's the physicality.
It's what wide receivers are turning into. Like, it's the AJ Browns who can like just put you on the fucking ground, or like the Julio Jones that you don't want to guard them all game. DK Metcalf, same thing. 6'1", 195, stout. Played at Morgan State.
He averaged 18 yards per catch.
That's crazy. So if they want to run the ball, he's got an over the top threat. This could be
get some good jet sweep action in with him. He's another versatile player. I like this pick a lot.
If I don't see a either reverse or fake reverse on the opening kickoff return from the Stallions, I will burn that stadium to the ground.
Do you remember? Did you remember the XFL when the Battlehawks did that reverse? God, for the first, it was the first kickoff return of the XFL. I watched that on repeat almost weekly.
It passed the gold standard of football fakes, which is if the cameraman's like, whoa, where's the ball? I don't know. That means it was a good fake. All right, I moved on to the defensive side. Brian Mills, man, cornerback. I love the size, 6'1", 184. I mean, 5'10", 5'11", anywhere from like 170 to 190 is about what you're getting. 6'1" is a good tall wide receiver or cornerback. Went all over the place. Transferred to College of the Canyons, which was a pretty good JUCO school for developing football players. Finished at North Carolina Central. Let's see.
He's an extremely physical DB.
Yeah, and that's what I like. That is what I like, and I also like that he has as soon as he's gotten dropped off of a NFL roster, he's immediately picked up by another team. He went from the Seahawks to the Saints to the Browns in one season, and then spent the entire season with most of the season with the Vikings, even elevated to the game's active roster in Week 18 this year. I'm not sure if he got any actual snaps, but
I want to leave him with this. On the NFL Draft Prospect website, they have his strengths, and my favorite strength of all time, maybe. Not afraid to lock up and get into it.
He don't chicken fight, man. There's nothing chicken about his hand fighting on the edge. He does like kung fu and shit. Yeah, I like this guy.
To me, he's kind of he's one of these guys who's just immediate. As a DB, he's a physical specimen. He's physical. He just needs to clean up his mental a little bit.
Hey, man.
Which these leagues are perfect for these guys.
It can be done. It can be done. It's for a lot of them. It just takes getting a little bit of success.
Yep. My next guy, I think I'm going to stick on defense as well. I'm going to go the D tackle right and go Willie Yarbebe.
Okay. He was a big old boy too, wasn't he?
He was a big old boy. If I can find his information on here, where you're at. There it is. Yep. Big old Willie Yarbebe. I'm seeing just pictures of the guy. He played at Wake Forest, which sometimes you wouldn't think is extremely impressive. But that means in practice you're going up against a generally pretty darn good offense.
Yeah, I would agree. Is Yarbebe right? Is that right?
Yep. He's 6'2", 285.
Wow.
Big boy.
I knew he was big. 6'2", 285. Not like a 300-pound plug.
But when you're that short, the size, it's there.
I think is it the 5 technique where you're like a nose guard, but you're lined up kind of slanted off of the nose guard. So you're pretty much like right in that gap between nose guard and that's the 5 technique, I believe. And
yes.
He's a perfect size to play the 5 technique. Who is it? I know Darius Phylon has done a really good job of coming out of Arkansas, and he's with it might even be Darius Phylon, but he was with the Patriots for a long time. Did really well running that 5 technique as a defensive tackle.
I am a little bit worried about his size against some of these offensive linemen and whatnot, just because I feel like that's the one thing that really puts him at a big disadvantage. Is he's not very big. He's not tall. He's jacked and he's good for his size. It's the height that kills me.
He's a gap shooter, is what it looks like. He's more of a gap shooter than like a eat up double team so someone else can get there. That makes him a rushing D tackle to me. And I like anybody who can rush from that position.
I respect that.
Yeah. All right. I'm taking you to where the teams are oh so special. That's right. Special teams. I'm going to quote this headline so you can kind of suss out where this is headed, Jim. Notre Dame footballer, Futboler, footballer, drafted by USFL. That's right. We are talking about, what is his name? I had it.
Brandon Aubry.
Yes. Brandon Aubry, who did not play a snap of football at Notre Dame, so he wasn't a gold domer. I guess he wore golden shorts because he played for their soccer team. I guess he's been on the practice squad for the Raiders for a little bit, but even maybe signed with the MLS for a bit. He's coming to kick the foosball. Foosball.
His career was Notre Dame soccer, then Toronto Football Club. Mm-hmm. Then he was on their second team on loan, and then the Bethlehem Steel, which I believe is an MLS team.
I guess, yeah, like one of their lower leagues. How would you like to, dude? That's like playing for the Chiefs in Slapshot. I think playing for the Bethlehem Steel. Like if you're in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, playing minor league soccer.
Yeah, they're Philadelphia Union too, so they're minor league soccer in Philly.
Yeah, so it makes sense that he'd want to make the jump to a different league. So now he is kicking that oblong pig bladder filled with air, which is hard to kick, man. I grew up playing soccer. It's hard as fuck to kick a football. But yeah, man, I like this. I like this for the mystery. I also like it because he kind of reminds me of the kicker from The Replacements, who is wiry.
Looking at pictures, he reminds me of so much of that guy. If he walks out of that tunnel with a cigarette in his mouth,
yeah,
I'm gonna love this man.
I have a back tattoo of him, quite honestly.
I've only got one more player on my list to watch out for, and that's the running back, Tony Brooks James.
So I've missed those rounds. Where is he from?
He's from Gainesville, like high school, but he went to Oregon. And okay. I'm just flatly going to tell you, a running back from Oregon, I'm generally going to like. Even though it's the more recent Oregon, it's not the high-flying Chip Kelly Oregon. But the guy's been kind of everywhere.
Chip Kelly.
Falcons, Bucks, and Steelers, and Vikings all within the same year. And then Falcons, Steelers, and now he's with the Stallions. He was on the Steelers practice squad all of last year.
Seems to be 5'9", 190, so he's not quite undersized, but he's not a big guy, which it kind of makes sense as to why he's maybe kind of floated around a little bit, hasn't had as many cracks. I don't know. Where do you see him fitting in this offense? Because it seems like a pretty beefy offensive line. Do you think he's like a catch passes out of the backfield, which would make sense for like Oregon?
I was thinking a pass catching back, maybe get him involved with this kind of offensive line, maybe get him involved in some screen games. And then if you're doing some short scat passes to the running back, that might open up the field for your downfield passes with your fucking guy, Mamesa Bailey.
And you know what? Triple threat in college, I'm seeing here. I had 18 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns, and 1 kick return. Versatility. So Jim, you see the Stallions. We've pointed out the Stallions that we like. I got 2 questions for you. One is going to be how much that semen is.
I think the most expensive semen on this list, honestly, it's probably Scooby Wright.
Give me a dollar amount. How much you paying for that jizz?
Oh, Scooby Wright. I think I'm paying. I'll pay $8,000.
For how much?
That's a lot of semen.
That's a lot of. You might be dehydrated when it's time to play football, Jim.
Right here. How about that? I don't know.
Oof. Hope that takes many runs. So the second question is just based off of what you're seing.
To be fair, I don't know how much semen goes for. I don't know the running rate of.
It's okay. I'm into horse racing. I know all about the going price of jizz. So what can you predict about what the Birmingham Stallions are going to look like? What do you think they're going to do?
I'm really waiting to see an offensive coordinator to kind of see what kind of offense they're going to try and run. If I am the Stallions, I try and run with these beefy offensive linemen here. I try and really help out your defense who has a little bit of size issues along the defensive line. Help them out. Run the ball a bunch. I think you have some good guys at running back. I think you have guys that you could do that. And then you have speedsters that can take the top off, open it up for some play action. Kind of what we see with the Titans a little bit.
O'Shea Dugas is going to be a good fit for maybe a more kind of like stretch zone from the shotgun kind of running game, because that's what he did under Gus Malzahn at Auburn. That's all they did was run crazy shit where they were pulling and people were sweeping and everything. So he's got good experience for it. If they're wanting to make they're going to make Tony Brooks James a weapon out of the backfield, I could see it that way, that it's more of like a RPO with some like kind of more creative run schemes.
I would like that, and I would also love the Stallions to get these receivers who we see that are very versatile involved in the run game somehow. Kind of like what you see with the Rondale Moore to Purdue, or what you assume a Laviska Shenault should be doing with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Or how Sean McVay used Robert Woods pretty much always. So on the defensive side, like D tackle, it feels like they're a little bit undersized. So it almost seems like they're hedging their bets that everyone else is going to be passing a lot, which I can see, other than Jeff Fisher, which I will never see him doing that. And I think so. I think that when they run into a team that can like maybe try to run it up the middle, like that they might have trouble with that. Like he's a good D tackle, but he's not like a Vince Wilfork kind of guy that's just going to be big and clog lanes. But you have Scooby Wright. Like they're not going to hurt that bad. He's a hole filler and a hard hitter.
I think I would expect a decent amount of blitzing. Some really interesting middle linebacker blitz packages.
3-4.
Yeah, I would go 3-4 if I was the Stallions.
A little 3-3-5.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Again, we're still kind of waiting to see who these guys hire as offensive and defensive coordinators to figure out like what kind of.
No, we're not. We are figuring this all out.
But
tonight.
I am saying what I would do.
Yeah.
As someone who has never coached a game of football, this is what I would do.
Listen, special teams, I don't know what to tell you, but this kid, Brandon Aubry, he's got an arm. I think a lot of fakes, a lot of deep passes out of Brandon Aubry.
I love the wild card. I love the fact that he's really never played any meaningful football.
He's going to come out and Doug Flutie drop kick one and just blow our fucking minds.
I'm kind of hoping for that. I think that's the Stallions. I think that's a wrap on the Stallions. I actually came away from this more impressed than I thought I'd be with their draft.
Yeah, it started off kind of felt kind of nepotism-y with him taking, like former players with a lot of tech and everything. He seemed like he leaned into it, but so I actually, second blush, I might bump them up. I'm scared of who I'm going to bump down. It will never be the Breakers. You'll have to do that.
I think a running theme we're going to see when we're evaluating these guys is we're going to love guys who have been consistently on either practice squads for the NFL or teams that have been like consistently playing, that this isn't their really like their first stop at a professional setting.
Yeah.
Or guys with SEC experience.
So I do want to point out that I think Skip Holtz is the only coach that actually did draft a kicker and a punter instead of passing and doing a compensatory pick, but he didn't draft a long snapper.
Yeah. I think some other teams drafted one or the other.
We found the critical weakness.
It's the long snap. Yeah.
It's the long snapper. Hey man, what brought down the Green Bay Packers?
What brought down Michigan?
What's going to bring down America? The lack of long snappers that we're producing.
True. We need more long snappers. I think Europe's creating too many long snappers. I am happy with how the Birmingham Stallions look. Good for them. Good for you, Stallions. I think that wraps up this show pretty nicely.
Got a little bow on it. I mean, we figured out one, how much that semen is, which you requested a lot. That was a big order. And two,
it's going to be a bulk order. I like to bulk order things. I'm a big Costco fan.
Yeah. Put a rush on that. We're going to need the also let me get the value pack of paper towels while we're at it.
And the Canadian whiskey.
Be a lot of spillage. Kirkland brand whiskey. Gotta love it. Yeah, man, but I like it. I like this. I like we're doing this for every team. You should come back and watch us again. This is the last time we're going to speculate on semen price because no one else is horse themed.
It's true. That's very true. Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode of Spring Fever. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify. Check us out over at betterthan.vegas. Mm-hmm. We both are dropping hella picks over there. I just California'd you guys. And thank you. Thank you for watching. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscription. This has been Spring Fever, and we fucking out of here.
Love the show, but mostly